Hi everyone. Today we'll be looking at a Chauvet Legend 230 SR beam. We're going to be looking at the power inside and how everything is distributed and what actually strikes the lamp and which voltage goes where. So we'll start with the input. If you take a closer look, they're doubled. So the power will be going out the switch into two different places. First off, it's going to be in this. We call this a PFC. It's kind of a power supply. So you're going to input your voltage and it's going to output 400 volts DC. And if we follow this wire, it's going to go into the lamp ballast. This is what actually strikes the lamp. So this one here is only here to power this thing. That's the only thing it does. It receives voltage and sends it out immediately. There's no trigger on it. There's no switch or command that is sent. So this one sends output. It always sends it. So as soon as you apply voltage, 400 volts DC coming out into this thing. And the little control cable here is what is going to tell the ballast to actually strike the lamp and output voltage. This little wire is also going to count the number of strikes, you know, the time that the lamp has been on. So your counters in the menus, all the counters will work. This is because of this wire. So sometimes when you give the lamp on command and the lamp doesn't strike, it can be this wire that's maybe pulled out a little, and they're quite fragile. So a lot of times wires get pulled out the connector. So you have to be very careful with this. So that's it, 400 volts inside coming from that unit here. Gives the lamp command, outputs to the lamp directly at the output of that module. And in the beginning I was saying that these wires were split. So one powers here, which in turn powers this. And the other side goes directly, the second pair, into this module right here, which is a regular DC voltage power supply. This one will send out 28 volts DC. That 28 volts will be used to power everything from the display to everything that's electronic inside, whether it be the motors, the fans, the sensors, everything like that will be running on this supply. So that's pretty much how the power is routed inside this fixture. Split, one to the PFC, which powers the lamp driver with 400 volts DC. Control cable tells the lamp to strike on, outputs to the lamp, lamp turns on. Other one goes into DC power supply in the back, which in turn powers everything in the fixture. So if you have a lamp that doesn't strike, that doesn't want to come on, first thing you measure, you make sure that this is plugged in. You can unplug this and measure here in DC to make sure that this one is sending 400 volts, because if you don't have 400 volts on that connector here, the lamp will never turn on. So if the lamp doesn't strike, you have 400 volts here. Everything here is plugged in correctly. More than likely, your lamp is dead. If you have your 400 volts, if you don't have it, you unplug it. Maybe it will come back when you measure it just like this. So if when it's plugged in, you don't measure your 400 volts, maybe this is shorted and is bringing it to ground. So you always measure your PFC alone by itself to make sure whether it's working or not. because it can happen that when it's plugged in, this thing brings it to 0 because it's shorted. So if you have your 400 volts, you plug it in, measure it, you still have it, then the lamp is supposed to be turning on. If it doesn't, the lamp is probably broken. So this was a little overview of the power inside the Chauvet Legend. So I hope you appreciate it. Thanks for watching.